Hey everyone, Sam Taylor, Cancer Cure Bus, coming to you from Omaha, Nebraska. Today's episode is episode number 32, Wealth Outliers and the Giving Pledge. You recall from last episode, I introduced the concept of outliers from Malcolm Gladwell's book, Outliers, and talked about how on our Cancer Cure Bus we want to have outliers from all different fields, such as science, medicine, technology, faith, and wealth. And I talked a little bit about wealth outliers, so we're going to talk more about that today. One example I gave of a wealth outlier is Warren Buffett, the most successful investor of this century. I also talked about Bill Gates as being a wealth outlier. Back in 2010, Warren Buffett and Bill and Melinda Gates launched something they called the Giving Pledge. And I asked Warren about this and where it came from. And he was kind of wondering what, on average, how much people give to charity in general for the U.S. population is what he was looking at. So this would take an average of wealthy individuals, not so wealthy individuals, but just in general for Americans, what percentage of their income or their wealth would they donate to charity each year? And he was surprised when he saw the number. It was smaller than he thought. I'm trying to remember the exact number. I recall it was less than 3%. And so we saw that in general, on average, some higher than others, but on average it was 3% that people give to charity each year. So Warren and Bill and Melinda Gates had the idea back in 2010 to come up with a way to encourage the world's wealthiest individuals, the world's wealthiest families, to donate at least half of their wealth to philanthropic causes during their lifetime or the time of their death in their will. So that is what they founded, and it's called the Giving Pledge. And Warren and Bill and Melinda Gates were the first members to sign the Giving Pledge. And in fact, they signed, both Warren and Bill and Melinda Gates, they signed up to give away 99% of their wealth to philanthropic causes over their lifetimes or at the time of their death in their will. 99%. Now you may say, well, it's easy when you're two of the world's wealthiest men. But again, I would say that's quite a commitment. And that's why I would position both of them as level 5 leaders, where they're looking to do good. It's not about themselves. And that is why they created the Giving Pledge and signed up to give away 99% of their wealth. The purpose of the Giving Pledge is to create a multi-generational global effort to address the world's biggest issues, the world's biggest problems. Issues such as poverty, hunger, health issues, all kinds of different big major issues that affect everyone on this planet. Since launching the Giving Pledge around 7 years ago, there have been 158 individuals or families that have signed up, that have signed the Giving Pledge to donate at least half of their wealth to philanthropic causes over their lifetimes. And those 158 people who have signed up, the total amount that they have set aside is $365 billion. $365 billion. That's what these individuals have signed up to donate to charitable causes. That's amazing. And the causes are incredible causes as well. Like I said, they range from health issues to eradicating poverty, to women's issues, children's issues, also donations to the arts, to science, to religion. So it covers many, many, many great causes. Some of the individuals that have signed up, you may recognize some of these names. And this is all on the website. So if you go, there's a Giving Pledge website, and if you're not familiar with it, you should take some time and take a look at the website. It lists these individuals that have signed up, and it talks about their causes that they are supporting with their charitable donations. And what you'll see is a list of some of the world's most successful businessmen and businesswomen that have generated wealth for themselves, but are now willing to share that wealth. I mentioned the two founders, Warren Buffett and Bill and Melinda Gates. Other people that have signed up that you may recognize names, people like Larry Ellison, Michael Bloomberg, Mark Zuckerberg and his wife Priscilla, Carl Icahn, Paul Allen, Elon Musk, Ron Perlman, George Lucas, Sir Richard Branson, a section mate of mine from business school, Bill Ackman and his wife Karen, have signed up. Ted Turner. This is one name I didn't recognize right off the bat. Sarah Blakely. She's the inventor and founder of Spanx. She signed up. And then Tim Cook, CEO of Apple. So that's just a list, that's a partial list of some of the people that have signed the Giving Pledge. Gives you an idea of the types of people, and the signers come from 16 different countries. So it really is a global effort to try to address the biggest problems that our world faces. And the amount that they have agreed to donate to philanthropic causes is over $365 billion. And I was curious to see how it all broke down. If you take that $365 billion and put it into different categories, how it would break down. And so I did that. And what you see is very interesting. One of the big categories is related to health issues, but there are also major contributions in the area of eradicating poverty and hunger, protecting the environment. There are donations to the arts, to science, to religion. So all of them good causes, to children's issues, to women's issues. Lots and lots of great causes. And as I was going through there, obviously what I was looking for were references to cancer. And I was surprised that I saw very few references to cancer. There are a few that called out cancer specifically, making donations for cancer research or to cure cancer. There were a few. When you add up the dollars that mentioned cancer specifically, guess what percentage it was of the total, of the $365 billion? What percentage specifically mentioned the word cancer? It was only 1%. I was shocked. Only 1%. I think we all agree it is one of the biggest problems that the world faces today. We've gone over that, and it's been facing for many, many years. And so I was surprised. Now, 1% of $365 billion is still nearly $4 billion. That's still a lot of money. And a lot of good could be done with $4 billion focused on cancer research and finding a cure for cancer. We talked about the government had set aside $1.8 billion for cancer moonshot, so $1.8 billion there, $4 billion here. The resources are there, and that's my point. It's going to take a lot, and I'm not sure how much will it take. It definitely will take a lot to find cures for all these cancers. But the good news is the resources are there. Money should not be an issue. And if more is needed, there's clearly opportunity for individuals that have the means to give some thought to, if cancer is not on my list now, should I put cancer on my list of charitable causes? So the good news as I look at it is the financial resources are there, and it will take a lot. Just like it took a lot to send men to the moon on Apollo 11. It's going to take a lot to cure cancer, of financial investment. But the resources are there. What we need to make sure is they're being invested in the right areas. And that's the key. We don't want to waste a dime. We want to make sure the money goes to the right places, to the right individuals, to the right institutions. And if that is the case, I'm confident we'll be able to find these cures. So this is a key group for our bus, these wealth outliers. I'm grateful for them, for these men and women that are so generous. They've worked their whole lives to build companies to be successful. They've worked hard their whole lives. If you look at those names I listed, I don't think there was a single name there that had anything handed to them. Think about that list. They're all self-made men and women. A lot of them started companies or ran big companies, successful, and were able to create wealth for themselves. The American dream, great. But now they're willing to share that wealth, and to a huge extent, over half. And so I'm grateful to people like the people that have signed this list, the Giving Pledge, and for their generosity to the entire world. $365 billion they've set aside for philanthropic causes to help address the biggest challenges, the biggest problems our world faces today. So Cancer Warriors, you know what I'm going to ask you to do? I'm going to ask you to keep your faith, stay strong. You will find peace. You will be victorious. Thanks so much for listening, for watching. Thanks for sharing Cancer Cure Bus with friends and family members that could benefit from it. Thanks for subscribing, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.